Good morning, friends. Now, today I want to introduce Unit 5. Okay, na? So, Unit 5, that is Traction 1. So, in this unit, first I want to explain what is mean by traction. What do you mean by traction? Next, I want to explain electric traction. So later I want to explain the speed time curve. What do you mean by speed time curve? What is the importance of the speed time curves? The fourth one is different types of services. What are the different types of services and their speed time curves What are the speed time curves of different services? Next, fifth one is the definitions regarding the speeds. Okay, definitions of speeds. Later I want to explain the average speed, calculation of average speed and schedule speed. Okay, na? Schedule speed calculation. So by using the trapezoidal, okay, na? Trapezoidal speed time curves and different speed time curves for different speed time curves. So this is the main objective of this total unit. Okay. First, I want to explain what I mean by traction. What do you mean by traction? Traction means the propulsion of the vehicle. The propulsion of vehicle is called traction. In the traction system, if you use electrical power, then that is called electric traction. Okay, then that is called electric traction. Now, before going to the in-depth, what are the basic requirements of ideal traction system? Requirements of ideal traction system. What are the basic requirement of ideal traction system? The first ideal traction system required high tractive effort. When it has the high tractive effort, it will move the load. So the tractive effect should require high starting torque or high starting tractive effect. It read high starting tractive effect. The next one is you should have the self-contained. It means the train or the system have the engine. In that engine, what are the equipment required? Everything should be contained. and it should be compact in size, I mean small in size, so that it can easily propel the vehicle. It can easily propel the vehicle. So it need the high starting torque. So when it has the high starting torque, it okay na move the, it propel the load, okay na, overload. So and it has the self-contained, means everything engine and every part of the engine it should contain, okay, in the single wagon, okay na, it's a single wagon. So that that can be used in any location, that can be used in any location, okay. That's why it contain the everything in that one. What are the equipment required, everything you should contain, so that it can be used in any location. The third point is the equipment can withstand the overload capacity, okay na, overload capability or capacity. If the vehicle or if the engine is overloaded, even though it is overloaded, it should withstand for short time of the period, short time, okay na. So it have the ability of, or it have the capability of overloading, okay na, capability of overloading. The fourth one is minimum wear on the track, minimum wear on track. So the number of equipment on the track should be minimum. So when it is the minimum equipment is required, minimum equipment is required, okay na, so that it can easily move, the maintenance will be, okay na, reduced, and the initial cost will be reduced, initial cost will be reduced, okay na. Next, the fifth point is the braking system. The braking system should have the minimum equipment. We should provide the braking system with minimum equipment, and if it is possible, we can supply the energy in the braking period to the supply. So that is called the regenerative braking. Regenerative. So we can generate the electrical energy or the power in the braking system, and it should be supplied to the, okay na, to the supply system, so that the energy drawn from the supply will be reduced because of the regeneration, because of the regeneration. See here, what are the requirements of idle traction system? It should have the high starting tractive effort or high starting torque, and it has the self-contained. What are the equipment used for the propulsion, everything should be, okay na, in that engine or in that machine or in the wagon. And that equipment have the overload capacity, it can withstand the overload capacity in short period, and the equipment should be minimum on the track, okay na. Many number of equipments we should not use on the track, so that we can easily propel, so that the train or the traction system will easily propel the vehicle. And in the braking system, the minimum the equipment used in the braking system should be minimum, the equipment used in the braking system should be minimum. And if it is possible, okay na, we generate the electrical energy in the braking system, and it should be given supply, okay, it should be sent to the supply, so that, okay na, so that the power or energy drawn from the system will be reduced, okay na, it will be reduced. Next, the sixth point is low initial and maintenance cost. Low initial and maintenance cost. Low initial and maintenance cost. So the maintenance cost will be the low, with economical cost, okay now we want to install the system, we want to install the traction system. Next, the seventh point is no interference with the communication system. no interference, no interference to communication system. Sometimes along with that the traction system we want to communicate, we want to place the communication lines. So because of this traction system you should not provide any interference, you should not provide any interference to the communication system. Okay na? So that is the seventh, okay na, seventh point. Next, eighth point is easy to speed control. It should be easy to speed control. If you want to control the speed, it should be easy. Okay na? It should be easy. The next, the ninth point is the pollution free. Pollution free. So see here, now the propulsion of the vehicle, okay na, propulsion of the vehicle is called the traction. In the traction system, if you use electrical energy, then the traction system is called the electrical traction system. What are the requirement of idle traction system? Okay na, what are the requirement of idle traction system? The idle traction system required the high starting torque or tractive effort, so that the acceleration, the speed will be increased, or the vehicle will accelerate, and it has the self-contained, the engines, what are the parts required for the propulsion, everything will be okay na, in that wagon or in that same, and it should be compact in size, and it has the overload capacity, the temporary overload capacity. Up to certain load it can withstand, and the minimum wear on the track, the minimum equipment used for the propulsion. And in the braking system, the braking system is also very essential for the traction. In the braking system, the minimum equipments are used, okay na, just like the braking shoe, like that. And if it is possible, we want to provide the regenerative braking. In the regenerative braking, in the braking period, we generate the electrical energy, and that electrical energy is supplied, okay na, to the supply system. That is called the regenerative braking, so that the overall power or energy taken by the system will be reduced. So low initial and maintenance cost means it is economical. Okay, it should not be very high cost, means it should be minimum cost, and we should not provide any disturbance in the communication system, or no interference to the communication system. It is easy to speed control, and it should be pollution free. Okay na? So we take the different traction systems and we want to compare these points, and which traction system we are using, that traction system should have the more requirement, it should satisfy the more requirement, then we say that it is a good traction system. It is good traction system. So different traction systems are available. Different traction systems are available. Different traction systems are available. The first one is steam engine. Steam engine traction system. In steam engine traction system, so we use the steam turbine. Because of the steam turbine, the vehicle will move. Okay na? The vehicle will move. So, and it has the more number of disadvantages. You should carry the coal, and you should carry the water. Okay na? Regular intervals of time we want to fill the the water, so that it required, okay na, the many number of maintenance is required, and it has the more disadvantages. Later we go for the electrical traction system. In electrical traction system we use the diesel electric traction system. Diesel electric traction system. In diesel electric system we use the generator. For generation of electrical energy. For electrical energy generation, we need the prime mover. We need the prime mover. This prime mover may be diesel engine or it may be petrol engine. We use many number of IC engines. We may use the different IC engines are is available. Okay, na? So by using this prime mover, we generate the electrical energy. That electrical energy is applied to the motor. That electrical energy is applied to the motor. Now the motor propel the vehicle. The motor propel the vehicle. So then it is called the electric traction. Then it is called the electric traction. So this prime mover, if you use the steam, okay na? Steam as a prime mover, steam electric traction system. If you use the diesel here, it is called the diesel electric traction system. If you use the petrol as a prime mover, so then that is called the petrol electric traction system. So what are the advantages? Now we are using normally in our day-to-day life, we are using diesel electric traction system. So where if the electrical power supply is electrical power is not available, electrical line is not available, or the system is not electrified, then we use diesel electric traction system. So we use the diesel. Why? Because the cost will be less. And the diesel is used as a prime mover. The prime mover, it is clean. So the prime mover used for the okay na, this diesel engine is used for the as a prime mover for the generator. Now the generator generates the electrical energy. That electrical energy is applied to the motor. Now the electrical motor have the more advantages. Electrical motor have the more advantages. So that normally we use diesel electric system where the track is not electrified. Next, the third one is electric traction system. Electric traction system. Now here by using the single wire, we can run the we can give the electrical energy to that conductor. Now the engine have the transformer, and it has the rectifier, and the rectifier convert to AC to DC, or if the DC is directly available, we want to step down the voltage to the required range of the motor. The motor propel the vehicle. So these are the different types of electrical traction system. Thank you. Okay, now I want to explain track electrification. So means I want to give the electrical supply to the track. So for the I want to use the electrical energy for propulsion, for the propulsion of the vehicle. Okay, so then I want to electrify the track. Normally in the electrical energy, two types of electrical supply is there. Normally it has the DC and it has the AC. The AC again it has the single phase as well as the three phase. You know very well about that one. In traction system, we use the DC system. DC system means by using single conductor, we give the supply positive for the conductor or negative for the one conductor, and the traction or the track is used as another conductor, so that one conductor is sufficient for the DC. Or you can run the two conductors also. That is based on the requirement. So for in DC system, normally the voltage range is 600 volts to 750 volts. For 750 volts for suburban systems. So what do you mean by urban and suburban systems? Already now I want to explain urban and suburban. Later I want to explain the G system for suburban, then you can easily understand. Now here three types of services are there. Three types of services are there in normal traction. The first one is urban or city service. This is called the city service. If the distance is less than 1 kilometer, it is nearer to the 1 kilometer. If the distance is very small value or small distance, if the distance is very small or in the order of 1 kilometers, okay now, then that service is called the suburban service, urban service. It is called the urban service. The second is suburban service. Suburban service. Now it is urban service. The distance between the two stops, is in the order of 1 kilometer. Then that service is called the urban service. Then that service is called urban service or city service. The second type service is called the suburban service. The suburban service means the distance between the two stops is in the order of 2 kilometers to 3 kilometers. Okay, na? 2 kilometers to 3 kilometers, or it may be 5 kilometers. Very small distance. Okay, then that service is called the suburban service. The fourth type is called the mainline service. The mainline service means if the distance between the two stops is greater than 10 kilometers or greater than or equal to 10 kilometers, then that service is called the mainline service. So the services are classified into three categories. The first one is urban service or city service. The distance between the two stops is very small value or in the order of 1 kilometer. The suburban means the distance between the two stops is in the order of or less than 10 kilometers. Simply we say less than 10 kilometers or between 2 to 3 kilometers. Then that is called the suburban service. The mainline service means the distance between the two stops is greater than or equal to 10 kilometers. Then that service is called the mainline service. That service is called the mainline service. Now see here, in DC system, the applied voltage, the voltage level for the traction system is 600 volts to 750 volts for suburban service. The suburban service means the distance between the two stops is less than 10 kilometers and greater than 1 kilometer. So for that service, the voltage level is 600 volts to 750 volts. DC. In some movies, we are observing the bus type train. That is called the tramway. Normally we say it is the tramway. And it has the one, it is just simple, just like a bus. And it has the vehicle, it is the bus. And it has one conductor. So this is contact with the conductor. So simple, just like a bus. So it is called the tramway. In tramways, normally we use 600 volts to 750 volts. Okay, DC supply for the driving of these tramways. Next, for the mainline service, 1500 volts to 3000 volts DC system is used for mainline service. for mainline service. If the distance between the two stops is greater than 10 kilometers, okay, na, then that system is called, that service is called the mainline service. For the mainline service, the operating voltage is in the order of 1500 volts to 3000 volts. Okay, na, 1500 volts to 3000 volts. So here there is no frequency. We are not concentrating on frequency. Why? Because the DC system is the DC system. Next, the second supply is the AC supply. Second supply is the AC supply or AC system, or it is AC system. What are the advantages of AC system than the DC? So in AC system, we can increase or decrease the voltage levels. We can increase or decrease the voltage levels by using the simple device, that is the transformer. By the simple transformer, okay, we can increase the voltage and we can decrease the voltage. Okay, so that and we can reduce the frequency also. We can reduce the frequency also, or we operate the system at different frequency, So here again, the AC system, again the classified into two types. It may be single phase or it may be three phase. If it is a single phase system, means only one conductor, we use the one conductor. Okay, na, single phase means it has the phase and neutral. Neutral is given to that, okay, na, given to the track. Neutral is given to the track. Now we run the phase. Single conductor, we use the single conductor. Now if the voltage level for the single phase, if the voltage level is 15 kV to 25 kV and the frequencies are, it is 16 2 by 3 hertz or 25 hertz. Okay, na? It is in the order of 15 kilovolts. Okay, na? Kilo voltage. kV, okay, 15 kV to 25 kV, and the frequency is 16 2 by 3 hertz to 25 hertz. Okay, na? 25 hertz. Now the spacing between the stations, okay, na? The substations, the distance between the substations is 50 kilometers to 80 kilometers. Distance between the substations, is between 50 kilometers to, okay, 80 kilometers. 50 kilometers to 80 kilometers. The second AC system is three-phase system. Three-phase system. In three-phase system, normally, okay, normally, although you know the three-phase induction motor. Three-phase induction motor. The three-phase induction motor has more advantages than the DC. Normally, in traction system, we use DC motors, DC series motor. We use the DC series motor. So even though the supply is AC, we want to convert AC to DC. That DC supply is given to the DC motor. So the DC motor will propel the vehicle. So normally we use the DC series motor. Why? Because it has the high starting torque. And okay, it has the high starting torque. Because of that one, normally we use DC series motor than the AC motors. But this DC motors have some limitations. Now because of the commutator and brush, it provides the sparks in the commutation process. Okay, na? And the maintenance, frequently maintenance is required. frequently maintenance is required. And the cost of the series motor is greater than the AC motors. Cost of the series motors or the DC motors are greater than the AC motors. But the advantage is the speed control of the series motor. The speed control of the series motor is good than the than the AC motors. So that's why normally we use DC motors than the AC motors. But only that is only the advantage. But it has the more disadvantages. So AC motors have the more advantages than the DC motor. For that reason, now at present we are using DC's, we are using three-phase induction motor in the place of DC series motors. Okay, by using different controlling techniques are available in the controlling of three-phase induction motors. It may be vector control technique or indirect vector control technique, direct vector control technique, vector control technique. Different techniques are there after invention of the power electronics devices. So by using that techniques, but with that the controlling methods, we can easily control the speed of the induction motor. Now for that reason, we use the three-phase system, okay, for propulsion of the three-phase, okay, or for the driving of three-phase induction motor, okay, three-phase induction motor. But normally in our India, we are using single phase, okay, single phase AC system. We run the single conductor, okay, single conductor, and its voltage level is 25 kV. Okay, its voltage level is 25 kV. That is converted to the three phase. Next it is converted to DC. That DC is used for the for the driving of DC series motor. Okay, DC the series motor. That is it is regarding the track electrification. So in track electrification, we use the electrical energy. That electrical may be it may be DC or it may be AC. It may be DC or it may be AC. If it is the DC, normally its operating voltage is 600 volts to 750 volts for the suburban. If it is mainline service, its voltage level is 1500 volts to 3000 volts. Okay, now for example, the tramway, just like a bus, just like a bus, and it has the one conductor and the overhead. So and it has the contact with that conductor. Because of that contact, it will move. So that is called the tramway system. So we see this tramway system in many cinemas. Okay, not in India, but we observe this tramways in the foreign. Next one is AC system. Now AC system has the more advantage than the DC. The simple transformer is sufficient to boost or step down the voltage level, so that it may be single phase supply or it may be three phase supply. Normally we use the single phase supply, and it is economical. So because of that one, we use the single phase system. Next topic is I want to explain the speed time curve. Next I want to explain speed time curve. Now this is very important. So you should concentrate on the speed time curves. Okay. Now what do you mean by speed time curve? The name indicating that this is the curve drawn between the two variables. One is the speed, the another one is the time. On the y-axis we take the speed, and x-axis we take the time in terms of the seconds. Okay, na? So we draw the relation between the two variables. That curve is called the speed time curve. That curve is called the speed time curve. Speed time curve. Now on y-axis, we indicate the speed, velocity in terms of kilometer per hour. Next, in this we represent the time in terms of seconds or in terms of minutes. The speed time curves have the different parts. The first one is the acceleration period. Acceleration during notching period. Acceleration during notching. The next one is the acceleration on speed time curve. Acceleration on speed time. Acceleration and speed time. Speed time. This period is called the T1 period. This period is called the T2 period. Next, the free running period. This is free running period. Next, it has the braking system. Braking system has the coasting and coasting period and braking period. Coasting and braking period. This is the T2 period. It is T3 period. It is a T4. It is a T5. These are the time periods. Time periods of the speed time curve. Now let me explain what is the importance of each period. The first is acceleration during the first one is acceleration period. First one is acceleration period. So means in that period the velocity will increase. Now see here, this is the acceleration period, this is the one of the period, and this is also acceleration period, this is also acceleration period. So in this acceleration period, it is called the notching period. So again, it is divided into two periods. The first one is acceleration during notching. Acceleration during notching. Now in this period what happened? The name indicating that it is acceleration means its velocity is increasing. Its velocity is increasing from zero speed to some speed. So it has the acceleration, it is accelerating. Now in this period, the current magnitude is constant. Current is constant, but voltage is increasing. By cutting the starting resistance. by cutting the starting resistance. When we are cutting the starting resistance, okay, na, starting resistance, the voltage will increase. But the current is constant. Okay, na, but the current is constant. And okay, na, the speed will increase. So that period is called the acceleration during the Natching period. Okay, na, acceleration during the Natching period. The second period in this acceleration is acceleration on speed. Okay, na, acceleration on, okay, na, speed curve or speed time curve. Acceleration on speed time curve or speed curve. Now in this period, the acceleration is decreasing. Okay, na, acceleration decreasing. Now in this period, voltage is constant. But the current is decreasing. But the current is decreasing by increasing the speed. So when we increase the speed, okay, na, the current will be decreases, but the voltage is constant and the acceleration is decreasing. Acceleration is decreasing, and acceleration, okay, na, acceleration will become zero at t is equal to, okay, na, at the time t2. At a time t2, the acceleration is zero. Means acceleration is represented by the alpha. Alpha is zero. Acceleration is zero. Now see here. Now I discuss about the acceleration. The acceleration has the two periods. One is Natching period. The another one is speed time curve or acceleration speed time or acceleration speed. Acceleration speed time curve or acceleration speed. In Natching period, the current is constant, but voltage is increasing. By cutting, okay, by cutting the starting resistance. The speed is increases. Okay, so that the speed is increases. In the acceleration and speed time curve or acceleration the speed curve, voltage is constant, but the current is decreasing by increasing the speed. So, and acceleration is zero. At a time, okay, na, at a time t2. It means the speed is constant. At t2 period. The next period is called free running period. Free run period. In this period, the speed is constant. And the velocity, the speed is maximum. So in this free running period, okay, the speed is maximum or speed is constant. And it is maximum. Okay, and it is maximum. And the power drawn, okay, the power drawn in this period, okay, the power drawn in this period is also constant. Power consumption or power drawn by the traction system is also constant. is also constant. Okay, that is the free running period. Now see, in this matching period, we take the power, and the speed will be increased. In the free running, the velocity is constant and it is a maximum speed. Okay, and it is maximum speed. So in this period, okay, in this period, it consume the or it draw the constant power. Okay, in the constant, it draw the constant power. The third period is called the coasting period. Third is coasting period. So in this period, the power is disconnected. The power is disconnected, but we are not applying any brakes. In this period, we are not applying any brake. So because of its momentum, the train will move, or okay, the train or the vehicle will move. Because of its tractive resistance, or because of the vehicle resistance, okay, at track resistance, its velocity will be decreases. So that is called the retardation. That retardation is called the coasting retardation. Coasting retardation. So in this period, we are not applying any brakes. Because of its tractive resistance. The speed will be decreases. So in this period, there is no power consumption. Power is disconnected. The fourth period is called the braking. Fourth period is the braking period. Fourth period is called the braking period. In this braking period, we are not applying any power. We apply the brake. Brakes. When we apply the brakes, what happened? So if you want to give the electrical energy in the braking system, we want to generate the electrical energy in the braking system, and if you want to give that energy to the supply, then that is called the regenerative braking. So different types of braking systems are there. We can use any one. If you want to generate the electrical energy and give electrical energy to the supply, then it is called the regenerative. So we can use different. So in this period, we apply the brakes. So that its velocity will be decreasing. So in this period, it has a retardation. The retardation is called the braking retardation. It has the braking retardation. So the electrical energy is consumed by the traction system only in acceleration period and free running period. In acceleration period and free running period. In coasting and braking period, it does not consume any electrical energy, or it does not consume any energy. So in this period, the speed will be decreases, so that is represented by the retardation. In coasting period, the speed will be reduced slowly. But in braking period, we apply the brakes. So that its speed will decrease fastly. Rapidly. The speed is decreased rapidly. So this is the speed time curves. Next, I want to explain the speed time curves. The speed time curves for different services. Now different services. different services and speed time curves. Now, already know that different services are there. The first service is urban service. Urban service. Already know that urban service, the distance between the two, okay na? The distance between the two stations is in the order of 1 kilometer. Okay na? It is in the order of 1 kilometer. So urban service is also called the city service. Is also called the city service. In urban service, the distance between the two stops is in the order of 1 kilometer. So it is only the small distance. It is only the small distance. Small distance. So that, okay na, so that here there is no free running period. First one is no free running period. Okay na, there is no free running period. And it have the, okay na, and it has the remaining, okay na, remaining periods. It has the acceleration period, and it has the coasting period, and it has the braking period. Okay na, braking period. Now if we draw the urban service speed time curve, it has the acceleration, next it has the coasting period, and it has the braking period. Okay na, so it is acceleration period, it is the coasting period, next it is the braking period. Okay na, braking period. So this is the time, and so this is the speed. Okay na, speed time curves of urban service. Next one is, okay, next service is, the second service is, okay, the second service is the suburban service. Okay na, suburban service. In suburban service, okay na, in suburban service, the distance between the two stops, okay, the distance between the two stops is in the order of 2 kilometers to 5 kilometers. It is in the order of 2 kilometers to, okay na, 5 kilometers. The distance is very small, okay na, it is very small than the main line service. It is not much longer distance, so that here also there is no free running period. There is no free running period. Okay na, but compared to the urban service, the larger coasting period. It has the larger coasting period. It has the large coasting period. They are the large coasting period. Okay, if you draw the speed time curves of, okay, speed time curves of suburban. So this is the time, and this is the speed. Now first one is the acceleration. The speed will accelerate, and it has the coasting. It has the more coasting period, and it has the braking period. So it is acceleration. It is the acceleration, and it is coasting period, and it is braking period. Okay, na? It is the braking period. The third one is the third one is the main line service. Third one is main line service. Okay, na? Main line service. So here in suburban, the acceleration and retardation is very high value. Okay, na? Retardation and acceleration and retardation is very high value, so that the average speed will become high. The average speed will become high. So and that, okay, na? And within a short period we can reach the second station. Within a short period, okay, na? We reach the second station, next station. Okay, next station. In mainline service, it has the distance between the two stations is greater than the 10 kilometers. It is greater than the 10 kilometers. It is simply, okay, now the speed time curves of, okay, now speed time curve. It is simply mainline, for the mainline service, it is simply, okay, now the speed time curves. It has the acceleration. So both notching acceleration and the curve, okay, now speed acceleration and free running period, and it has the coasting period, and it has the braking period. Okay, na braking period. So the mainline service have the, okay, na, as the acceleration, free running, and coasting and braking period. For suburban, there is no free running period. For urban also, there is no, okay, na? There is no free running periods. These are the different services, and okay, na, different services and their speed time curves. Now the area occupied by this, the speed time curve. Okay, na? Now the area occupied by the speed time curves indicate the distance between the stations. Okay, na? Distance between the stations. Okay, now in the acceleration and free running period, okay, na? In this acceleration and free running period, it takes the electrical energy, or it takes the energy, or, okay, na, power from the supply. In the coasting and braking period, okay, na, it does not consume the any power, but in braking period it delivers the, okay, na, energy. Okay, na, it delivers the energy. Now I want to explain some definitions, okay, na, some definitions regarding the traction, okay, regarding the traction system, okay, regarding the traction system. Now definitions. First one, crest speed or maximum speed. The maximum speed attained by the vehicle during the running is called crest speed. Next, average speed. The average speed means the mean of starting and the stopping speed. Its average is called the, okay, its mean is called the average speed. In another way, it is defined as, okay, the ratio of distance between the two stations, the two stations, to actual run time, actual time, actual run time is called average speed, is called average speed. Now average speed, okay, a average is equal, v average is equal to distance between stations, divided by the actual runtime, actual runtime. The third definition is schedule speed. Schedule speed. The ratio of distance between two stations, to the time include stop time is called the schedule speed. Now the V schedule is equal to the distance between two stations, divided by the actual runtime, plus stop time. Okay, so this is called the schedule speed. Now crest speed means the maximum speed attained by the vehicle during the running is called the crest speed. The average speed means, okay na, average speed means the distance between the two stations divided by the actual time, okay na, actual run time, how much, okay na, time it takes to run, okay na, to complete or to travel that distance, okay, that is called the actual run time. So schedule speed means in the time we consider the stop time also, okay, consider the stop time also. Later I want to explain the velocity calculations, okay, in the next class. Thank you.